So it's that time again. Let's have a chat. Okay, so today we're talking with Grace and Jarrett. These guys have their own YouTube channel. It's called Crawl TV. You guys, if you want to check it out after this conversation, link will be in the description below. So today we're going to be talking about their build. And now they're building a Wrangler. It's a little bit different than what I've been doing with the Cherokee. It's a bit of a newer model. So I just want to really get into the ins and outs, not too in depth because you can go check out their videos for that. But I just want to know a few things about their build. So Grace and Jarrett, say hello.
Hey there.
Hey guys.
So guys, you're building a Wrangler. Now the first thing I want to know is, why did you choose a Wrangler?
Well, that's funny. Jarrett actually has been building for a long time, since he was about 12. I met Jarrett while he was driving an XJ. He pulled up onto Scott Air Force Base where we were both stationed, and I heard it before I saw it. We started dating while he was in this dark green, mean, run-together XJ. He did all kinds of crazy mods, and he took me out on our first couple dates in that XJ. And then I went on a trip, TDY, with the military, temporary deployed location, came back, and he had a JK. And I was actually heartbroken because I had known to love him with the XJ. I rode in that XJ. I was committed to the build, and he promised me that this JK Sport was going to be so much better. And that's how we started. I'll let him pick up.
Okay, yeah, so I started building, actually my first vehicle was a 1970 International Travelall, and I pulled that thing out of the weeds, popped the hood full of rat nests, and it actually took about 4 months to get it running, but that was my first project. And then from there I moved on to a 1983 AMC Eagle and bought it with no motor. No, I'm a big fanboy of the Eagles, and
I love them. I love the woody panels that they came with.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I'm kind of a rare breed in that sense because not many people love the smushed Cherokee station wagons, but it was super cool. We put a 4-liter Cherokee engine in it, and it was a big change from what it had, the 258 carbureted, but that thing ran like a champ until it eventually was rolled and totaled. But from the from the Eagle moved on to a couple of Cherokees, and then met Grace with the Cherokee, and when she was gone, I did purchase the first JK. My reason for moving to the Wrangler world, though, was because I had Cherokees, but every single Cherokee that I had was kind of a budget build. And even the first Wrangler that I had was kind of like my first delve into the Wrangler world, non-budget build, but I wanted to build something that maybe could have gone more places. The problem was that I chose a Sport that had open differentials and it had a 6-speed transmission in it.
Now, some people would argue that the Sport's probably the better one if you want to build it up. If you bought a Rubicon, then you basically spent too much money on something that you're just going to remove all those options anyway.
Well, that's exactly what he was thinking. I was in love with the XJ because I was in love with the man who drove the XJ. So he bought this JK Sport. It had a rough country lift on it, pre-installed. He went out and drove it to me, lifted, and I looked at it like, this is a Jeep that you didn't build. And I really loved the stories that I got about him building it. He thought that he would show up. He took it to a car wash before he picked us up on the date, and it was bright and shiny and new, and I just wanted to cry, and he couldn't understand why. But it was something that he didn't build, and so I loved what he could build on it. So from there, I learned that he was still going to build it up. We spent most of our first date in that JK with him telling me, well, I'm going to remove this lift. I'm going to put a new lift in. I'm going to do new bumpers, do this and that. And he convinced me that he was still going to make it his own.
So you got the Wrangler, but there are so many different kinds of Wranglers. There's the TJ, YJ, the old CJs. Why did you go with the JK? Currently you've got a JKU, but you had a JK before. But
right.
why is it that you have the JKU now?
Okay, so we had the JK, and I was actually on the market for an LJ when I found the JK.
Okay.
That is a whole other story. There was a company out in Oregon called Jeep West that actually sold consignment Jeeps that were like fully built, long arm, you name it, well built LJs, and I just wanted to have something that wasn't going to fall apart on me after my nightmares with the XJs. No offense.
no, we've all experienced them. Come on.
So good in the XJ.
When I found the JK, I actually found it in Missouri, and it was a great deal. The guy put a rough country lift on it and hated the way it drove, and it had 7,000 miles on it. The thing was basically brand new, and I got it for less than he paid for it out the door. So that was my reason for picking it up. I loved the way that the JK rode after I replaced the lift kit on it, and we put together, Grace and I put bumpers on it, we put a winch on it, we put the CB radio in it. We did everything that we wanted to do as first-time Jeep buyers. Yeah, and
we rattle can the front and rear bumpers, the poison spiders. They didn't do powder coating yet.
Nice.
So out in the freezing cold garage, rattle canning it.
Yeah,
together.
we put a lot of like first-time Jeep owner dedication into that thing, but we learned a lot of lessons.
That's awesome.
That we felt like we could pass on to the next generation of Jeep owners, people that are buying their first JKs. And the Jeep JK market is kind of like a new territory for a lot of people that are buying. The JK kind of encompasses both off-road and like the grocery getter lifestyles together, and it's a vehicle capable of both. So
mall crawling.
Yeah. So. We actually ended up rolling the first JK, and
we're gonna get into that in the next chat. But yeah, continue.
Yes.
Okay, so
thank goodness, that's a good story.
So we started this channel with like 3 videos on that old Jeep, and then we rolled it and we started this new channel, which is basically what Crawl TV has become, but that's with the new Dozer JKU, and we actually ended up moving from a 2-door 6-speed JK Sport to a 4-door automatic JKU Rubicon. And like you said, you can skip a lot of the payments by just buying a Sport and upgrading what you want to. The problem is the budgeting. You know, if you want to buy a Sport and you want the locker options, if you want the low transfer case gearing, you want the low axle ratios, all that stuff, you're going to have to plan ahead on that if you buy a Sport, because that's all stuff that you can have straight from the factory.
Well, obviously, I mean, if you feel like you want to take the Jeep off-roading, if you can afford it, you're going to buy the Rubicon. It comes with more off-road options like the quick disconnect smart sway bar. It comes with the automatic locker option. If you want more glamour, you're going to buy the Sahara. If you're looking for a basic Wrangler that you can mod the only way that you want and you've got a budget, you're going to buy the Sport. So we were fortunate enough to have the money from our last rollover to go into a Rubicon. We mostly buy the Jeep for off-roading, so of course we're going to go with the most off-road capable version of the Wrangler.
So for you guys tuning into our channels, you're looking for advice, and we're the ones giving the advice. Now, how did you guys initially learn about the Wrangler, and the advice you're giving, where did you acquire this knowledge?
So I actually got into Jeeps early on. The Eagle was my first technically Jeep that I worked on. And that was the first inline 6 that I did a head gasket on, first engine that I replaced. And then I moved on from that to the Cherokees that I owned. And then from that Cherokee, the last Cherokee that I owned, I met Grace. And then from there, we moved on to the Wrangler. But the Wrangler was basically our base model that we did all of our installations on, including the lift kit, the CB radio, the bumpers, the winch, the off-road lights, and all that stuff. So this second Jeep that we have now, the JKU, is kind of reflecting our experiences on that and helping people that are doing their first-time installations. So,
but the big thing was Jarrett had his last XJ when I met him. Like we mentioned earlier, he got the JK when I was gone. I had to say it, but he got it, and he was putting a lot of mods on in the garage. I was still playing domestic. We had just moved in together. So I'm inside making a pot roast and asking him, hey, how long is this bumper install going to take? Oh, 20 minutes. Time my dinner for 20 minutes. Hey, honey, dinner's ready. Okay, just 20 more minutes. All right, put it in the warming drawer. Okay, just 20 more minutes. And finally, I got tired of wondering why 20 minutes can take an hour. So knowing about jet engines, knowing about aircraft maintenance, I walked outside and said, all right, show me how 20 minutes can take 20 minutes plus 20 minutes plus 20 minutes.
Because you're all about efficiency. Like,
I need to know.
come on, snap. What's happening? Show me if you've got a problem. You tell me why.
Yes,
Yeah.
so just show me. So I went out with him, and the next night we took our dogs for a walk around the block, and I asked him to explain to me everything that he did.
So the whole reason why your channel started was because you wanted to know, and Jarrett had the explanation. So he was explaining it to you, and you're like, where did you get the idea to like just pull out a camera and make that happen?
Well, here's exactly it. That's exactly how it started. It's exactly how you said it. He would explain to me how he did it. So I came outside and said, show me how. And he explained so thoroughly that I wanted to know more. So he explained how to put the front bumper on for the JK. And I said, I like this. I want to learn more. I went on YouTube and I saw a lot of short videos of, okay, so we're putting on a new bumper. Well, now that you have the new bumper installed, you can go ahead. And I went, what? How did this bumper get installed? What happened? Did you take anything apart? And I kept watching and kept researching. And this went on for about 2 months. He deployed, and I tried to learn on YouTube. I thought I would surprise him when he got home, and I would know all about Jeeps.
Yeah, I done got it.
Yeah,
YouTube certified.
exactly. I couldn't do anything. I just wanted to learn more about his hobby. You know, I loved what he did. I wanted to learn more about it, and I couldn't find anything. So I told him that. I would ask him to explain to me, how do you do this? How do you put this on? How does an engine work? How does this happen? And he would explain it to me so thoroughly that I eventually thought, you need to explain this because I can't find...
Jarrett, don't you have the patience of a Buddhist monk?
See, well, I mean, you're forgetting. I knew about systems. I learned aircraft systems, so he would mostly explain.
Okay, well, I'm not giving you enough credit then, Grace. Sorry.
Like, okay.
I'm coming from the perspective of, yeah, my wife, she has no clue. So if I'm saying the things that I'm doing, she just nods and goes, "Good job, sweetheart."
No, most of what he explained to me would be in terms of, okay, well, you know how an ACM works. Like, okay.
I don't know how an ACM works.
It's an air cycling machine. It's basically the
right.
environmental system in an aircraft.
Okay, I don't. Yeah, right. I could probably deduce how that works, but yeah.
So if an engine doesn't start, you can plug one of those and you can pull extra air from that. Or he'd say, so you know how a jet engine works. Okay, great. Well, the car is not like a jet engine in this way. Or you know how the battery of an aircraft works. This is how it's different. And so we would take long walks around the block with him explaining, this is how a KC-135 battery works. You know that. This is how a car battery works. And probably around our 5th walk around the block, I convinced him to start a channel to show YouTubers how to explain. It just became so clear to me. We'd get halfway around the block and I would understand everything.
So essentially, without putting words in your mouth, you thought Jarrett could explain things well enough for the layman that he could do it for just every layman on the internet.
Yeah.
On the layman.
I really did, because, I mean, he would take what I would know about a jet engine and go, okay, well, you know how a jet engine is different than a car engine. And I would go, no.
Okay. Okay. Let's work from there.
Exactly. Explain it. And I just thought, wouldn't it be great? He would explain it to me one time, and I would have to ask later again, explain this to me. And I thought, if you could just put this to video, somebody could watch this until because that's how I learned the 135. I would read about it, then I would go see it, then I would read about it again, go see it, read about it again, go see it. And if this was just documented, somebody could watch it until they understood. And he's just got such an easy way about him and such a patient way that he could explain it a million times over without getting frustrated with me. I thought that people could benefit from it. You know, not everybody has a Jeep. Some people are buying Jeeps for the first time, and they need to know about this stuff.
And that is exactly why I subscribed to you guys in the first place, and I continue to watch your videos. So for you guys that are watching, I hope that you guys will go over and see their videos and see exactly what we're talking about now. Until next time, actually, I really want to get more into what happened with the rolling the Jeep. So if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. If you're feeling generous, hit the like button. And if you want to be part of the conversation, leave a comment down below. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.